In the midst of the chilling Cold War era, an extraordinary event unfolded on a wintry night when a mysterious Russian man approached the CIA Moscow bureau chief, Robert Fulton, at a gas station in Moscow exclusively reserved for foreign diplomats and discreetly passed a note to him that stated his willingness to become an American spy. How can a man who never received his payments in money become the most valuable American spy? Join us as we navigate through the shocking truth about the CIA's most valuable spy. During the Cold War era, the climate of fear and suspicion surrounding Soviet espionage was so intense that the CIA supervisors in Washington hesitated to accept the Russian man's proposal at the gas station in Moscow. He maintained that he had classified information that America could never have otherwise. After nearly 7 attempts by the Russian man to make contact with the CIA, his offer to betray his own country was accepted. Little did they know that this decision would prove to be an absolute game changer. This man that you see here is known as the billion-dollar spy. No, he wasn't a billionaire, nor did he want $1 billion for his spy work. Why do you think he was called the billion-dollar spy? This man is none other than Adolf Tolkachev. His code name was Fear, a name given by his American handlers. A brave and dedicated man who for 7 years provided the CIA with a huge volume of extremely sensitive and valuable intelligence on Soviet military research and development activities. The information that he procured for the CIA helped America save nearly $2 billion in weapons research and development costs. That made him the most valuable spy. Tolkachev was a man with high intellect and knew how to work his way around the Soviet intelligence agency, called the KGB. He was a senior engineer working with a highly classified Soviet aerospace laboratory, embarked on an astounding espionage journey. He clandestinely captured thousands of pages of invaluable blueprints, diagrams, reports detailing the Soviet Union's most advanced airborne radars, aviation, guidance systems, and fighter designs. In an atmosphere teeming with KGB agents, Tolkachev managed to meet the CIA officers a groundbreaking 21 times over the course of 6 years, all without arousing suspicion or detection. What did Tolkachev do that made him an unparalleled asset in the eyes of the CIA? Tolkachev, even though he was from Russia, was not a Communist Party member. He believed that his access to valuable information could contribute to the cause of the West. Tolkachev felt a growing need to take action against the oppressive system. Concerned about potential repercussions for his family, he patiently waited until his son was older before deciding to be a spy. Tolkachev had a son named Oleg, and fulfilling his wishes was his topmost priority. He requested Western rock and roll, stereo equipment, reliable access to Western radio broadcasts, drafting materials, books on architecture, and various other items for his son. The CIA did everything they could to fulfill his wishes, as they knew it meant a lot to him, because money couldn't buy happiness in the regime of the Soviet Union, where commodities were scarce, and this is why Tolkachev never wanted money for his work. Considerable planning was required to establish a contact routine for the Tolkachev operation, where face-to-face encounters were preferred over dead drops. Out of all the methods used to procure information, the most famous method he used was by using a miniature spy camera provided by the CIA to photograph documents at his office. His Pentax 35mm camera clamped to a chair was mainly used to photograph the documents. He would then deliver the exposed film rolls during personal meetings with the CIA case officers. He also used another device called the SRAC, a short-range agent communication device similar to a walkie-talkie, used for urgent message transmission. Tolkachev also made use of his own intellect to write handwritten notes along with the film rolls to make the content in his rolls easier to understand. Additionally, Tolkachev employed a system of predetermined signals and dead drops. The CIA would establish dead drop sites where Tolkachev could leave packages containing materials for the agency. The locations and times for the drops were communicated through a communication plan. He'd also cover his phone on specific dates and await wrong number calls, which would provide instructions for further actions. However, Tolkachev always feared that the dead drops would be discovered and the potential documents could be traced back to him, and this is why he always preferred personal meetings. Even though everything was going smoothly, Tolkachev always feared being caught. He asked the CIA for a suicide pill filled with cyanide that he could use if he ever got caught by the KGB. A usual meeting was requested with Tolkachev several times, to which he never showed up. He'd been missing for days and the CIA knew nothing of his whereabouts. Something was wrong. Someone had tipped the KGB about Tolkachev and his dealings with the CIA. He was ratted out by 2 CIA employees who had a strained relationship with the CIA. He was arrested in the first half of 1985 and taken to the most brutal prison in Moscow. There is no information as to how he was executed, but reports claim that he was either executed on an electric chair or a public shooting, which were the norm in the Soviet Union. Tolkachev remained tight-lipped and made sure none of his family members would suffer from the repercussions of his actions. How would you like to be paid if you were the most valuable spy? Would you be brave enough to gamble with your own life? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.